The Russo-Japanese War, 1904 to 1905, marked a historic moment as Japan defeated Russia, a major European power. This conflict, primarily fought over control of Manchuria and Korea, demonstrated Japan's rise as a global military force. Japan's victory can be attributed to several key factors, including superior military preparedness, effective strategy, and Russia's logistical and political challenges. 1. Superior military strategy and tactics. One of the main reasons for Japan's victory was its effective military strategy. Japan was well prepared for modern warfare and utilized superior tactics that outpaced Russia's outdated approaches. Quick, decisive strikes. Japan's strategy focused on fast, concentrated attacks, which allowed it to seize key strategic locations before Russia could respond effectively. Japan's use of mobility and surprise in battles like the Battle of Mukden, 1905, and the Battle of Tsushima, 1905, proved highly successful in overwhelming Russian forces. Naval superiority. Japan's navy was better trained and equipped than Russia's, which had to send its fleet halfway around the world from the Baltic Sea. The Battle of Tsushima was a decisive moment where Japan destroyed the Russian Baltic Fleet, crippling Russia's naval capabilities and securing Japan's dominance in East Asia. 2. Modernized military and economy. Japan had undergone significant military and industrial modernization during the Meiji Restoration, 1868 to 1912. This transformation allowed Japan to quickly mobilize and equip a well-trained, disciplined army capable of taking on a major European power. Modernized army and navy. Japan's military had access to the latest weaponry, tactics, and technology, which allowed them to effectively confront Russia's relatively outdated forces. The Japanese army was also highly organized, with soldiers who were well-trained and motivated for the cause. Economic efficiency. Japan's relatively small economy was efficiently mobilized for war. The government's ability to rapidly convert resources into war material, combined with the nation's industrial capacity, gave Japan an edge over Russia, which faced its own economic struggles. 3. Geographical advantage. The Russo-Japanese War was fought primarily in Manchuria and Korea, regions in which Japan had a clear geographical advantage. Japan was closer to the battlefield, which allowed for quicker movement of troops and supplies. Proximity to the war zone. Japan's forces were already stationed in Korea, while Russia had to transport troops and supplies over vast distances from European Russia, which placed a heavy burden on Russia's logistical operations. Strategic base in Korea. Japan's control over Korea provided it with a strategic base from which to launch operations into Manchuria, giving Japan a military advantage and allowing it to maintain a stable supply line throughout the war. 4. Russia's logistical and political challenges. Russia's defeat can also be attributed to significant logistical and political difficulties that hindered its ability to effectively prosecute the war. Logistical strain. The immense distance between Russia's European territories and the battlefield in East Asia made it difficult to transport troops and supplies quickly. This logistical challenge was a major weakness, especially in comparison to Japan's proximity to the conflict. Political instability. By the time the war broke out, Russia was already facing domestic unrest, which was exacerbated by the strain of war. The 1905 revolution, which saw widespread strikes and protests, distracted Russia from its military efforts and undermined morale. 5. Diplomatic isolation of Russia. Japan also benefited from a more favorable diplomatic position. While Russia was embroiled in the war, it found itself diplomatically isolated, while Japan garnered support from countries like Britain and the United States, who were interested in curbing Russia's expansion in East Asia. Limited support for Russia. Russia's expansionist policies in East Asia had alienated potential allies, leaving it without significant international support. Japan, meanwhile, had secured diplomatic backing from Britain, and its success in the war earned it global recognition. Conclusion. Japan's victory in the Russo-Japanese War was the result of a combination of factors. Japan's superior military strategy, modernized forces, and geographic advantage allowed it to outmaneuver Russia on the battlefield. Meanwhile, Russia's logistical difficulties, political instability, and diplomatic isolation weakened its ability to sustain the war effort. The war's outcome established Japan as a major imperial power in East Asia and had lasting repercussions for Russia, contributing to domestic unrest and weakening the Russian Empire.